I get asked a lot from people, is the Mafia finished? As you could just see with Frank Camuso, the Gambino family, I think, was involved in some sort of a construction racket, getting kickbacks recently. Got touched and got in trouble. But the thing is, I think it exists, but it's just on the DL. Now you understand. It's not like in the old days with John Gotti, the king. God bless John Gotti. I know that you're all gonna say, "How could you say that?" I love the guy. I think he was the greatest. I think his son is the greatest too. I'm not saying I'm an advocate of murder or obviously whacking people. I'm not saying that. But you see, they lived by a certain code, and that's what it is. It's like they weren't affecting just innocent people like Lou. Like how Lou goes out, and he was robbing from senior citizens. John Gotti was the type of person who donated, to like the local, like the gym, the YMCA. He used to have all the celebrations with the block parties and the fireworks, and he gave back to the community. Whatever happened was it was in their code. You just don't understand. In other words, they live by rules, and if you broke those rules, then there were consequences. No different in our society. If we break rules, there are consequences. If we rob a bank, we're gonna go to jail. You know what I mean? So, or if we commit some sort of a crime. So, if you kind of look at it that way, he lived in his own like the life of a knockaround guy, the life of a street guy, and there was certain rules, and that's it. I'm not saying I'm an advocate of murder, but you know, it's different now. The mafia, the mafia still exists. It still exists, but it's quiet now. It's quiet. But then you once in a while you'll see these things that come out. Like I remember, and I don't want to bring this up, but I'll bring it up. But I'm going to say it very delicately. In Ellenby's Pomoni Gardens, Lou, one of the brothers, one of the heirs, he was shot. He was murdered. This guy had a heart of gold, man. I was very good friends. My father was very good friends with him. And I recently just saw his brother. We were sitting down and we were having a glass of wine. We were talking about Lou, how good he was, such a good man. My father, he used to do a lot of charity work with the Ronald McDonald House for the children, and he would rent out big buses. My father was a beautiful man, and he would take all the kids, that had cancer. God bless them. He would take them to Coney Island, and he would it was fully paid for. You know what I mean? But Lou was like the type from L&B. He would donate all the pizzas. He would donate everything from L&B, and he was just a great man. And it was such a shame that he was shot in front of his house. Some people said that it was because he had $15,000 in cash. The person who shot him didn't even take the money. You know what I mean? I still to this day I can't prove it. I have to say it's alleged, but it was something to do with their pizza. Like there was another place opened up in Staten Island. Again, I have to say alleged. I can't prove any of this. It was called the Square, and supposedly they were using the same sauce, and it was like the same pizza, like the Square pizza, the famous Square pizza, and there was like a kind of like a rivalry, a fight going on. I believe it was probably the mafia, but again, I have to say it's alleged. But you don't see things like that anymore. Not in modern day, where someone is shot and murdered right in front of their house. You don't see that no more. That's like back in the old days. You know what I mean? And it's like, so when you see these things, and then you see these news reports that it's still happening, you realize the mafia still lives, just a little bit on the quiet side. Now, financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. This video is not legal advice. I am not an attorney. This video and all my videos are for entertainment purposes only, because that's what I am, the world's greatest entertainer. The one, the only Apefather in the house, baby. Wow!